Hey everyone, welcome to another challenge recap. I have May here, and we just recently finished the greeting card challenge, which was a ton of fun. A lot of super great entries. We're going to get into the top three, talk a little bit about why those might have got the top three, and then we have five other designs that we're going to pull and critique, talk about a little bit why we like them, maybe something that could be improved, and then award a special winner at the end, like we always do. So please keep watching. Make sure you watch to the end, see if it was you, so that you can get that $25 Amazon card. But May, I'm going to pull up the challenge page, and we know this was a greeting card challenge, so anything kind of under the sun in that greeting card could have come in as an entry. But what did you think you were going to see? Like, if when we posted this, you were like, oh, it's going to be, 18,000 Valentine's cards or whatever. What were you expecting to see?
I did expect seeing Valentine's, even though if you look at the timing of it, it's the worst time to design Valentine's Day cards, unless it's for printables, or unless the
Right.
man sucks and the woman agrees to forgive him. I think that I was really expecting to see a lot more Easter cards.
Easter, yeah, something a
Like
little
Easter
later.
is like now for us. I mean, for the print on demand, Easter is pretty much now. And I was really surprised there are not like that much Easter cards. I feel like almost every second card was Valentine's Day.
We had a St.
And
Patrick's Day right there. That's pretty good.
the Happy Cancerversary
Oh, that's
really shocked
crazy.
me.
Yeah.
No one did a coloring card. No, I
Yeah.
used to sell a bunch of those, I used to sell so many of those on Etsy, on printables. No
Yeah.
one did a coloring card.
I
And
think
I
the
haven't done my
users might,
coloring tutorial yet.
yeah, users might not necessarily be familiar with that. Actually, they weren't thinking of that as the specific niche. These are kind of more like what
We
would
have happy
what you would
birthdays.
buy in the store or something. Yeah,
You,
there's a
you'd be
good amount
you'd
of.
be surprised, but I actually got, when Misho came back from Slovakia from Christmas, his mom sent me from the town city some of the local artists. They actually have like greeting cards for coloring from the town.
Oh
So I
wow,
was like,
that's really cool.
it's really a thing apparently there, and I was like, I'm so surprised that it's not catching on in more places of, I think, the Western world.
Yeah,
But from Slovakia, apparently it's a thing.
yeah,
And I love that it's a thing. For myself, like even like coloring print on demand wall art, or
yeah.
print on demand or printable coloring cards. It's a huge thing, and the coloring community is all over the place. It's one of the biggest communities in the world that just buys everything.
Wow.
So I was
Yeah.
kind of surprised, and it's really easy to design like any coloring thing with Kittl. I think I also I really expected there to be more Easter. I actually thought a lot of people will design for Christmas. I don't know.
Yeah,
You
I
can
don't
design
think
for
that was
Christmas all the time.
I don't know if that was in their forefront. They were kind of just thinking like, oh, what's the next thing that's about to happen?
Most of my Christmas sales are in August.
Yeah, that
Every
makes
single
sense.
year,
Yeah,
I
that
sell
makes
a
sense.
bunch of August Christmas. But that's the thing. What's the closest thing? Valentine's. No, Valentine's is not the closest thing. Valentine's is gone. By the time we made the challenge, the closest
Yeah.
would have been Easter.
Yeah,
I
I think the users are probably not all print on demand though. They're kind of just having fun,
Yeah.
doing a challenge, not really thinking of, oh, I need to list this card. I think they were just, having fun making
So
something.
maybe that's what I was thinking, that people will come into this from the point of,
Yeah.
like, I'm not just doing the challenge, but I'm using the challenge as motivation to design something that I will sell.
Yeah, but
Like,
maybe now that they, kind of go through this and you have, your wits about you in terms of like format and like looking at tutorials and stuff, then they have that knowledge and they can go kind of design something that they could print. But yeah, let's take a look at the top three
yeah.
and discuss maybe what makes these, the top three and or what could be improved. And I say let's go 3, 2, 1. So let's start with three.
Okay.
I think 3 is probably my favorite. I am, big gamer. I've been, utterly destroying the new Hogwarts Legacy game, which is super amazing.
I don't even know what that is.
Yeah, it's a Harry Potter-esque game, and it uses all of our heritage fonts like in the game, which is super cool.
I hope that they use it legally.
Yeah. And you can use those fonts, by the way, everyone watching. They're in Kittl. Super cool. But we're talking about greeting cards right now. So number 3, May, what do you like about this card? I know we were chatting a little bit before. We both liked this one. You were like, "Yeah, this would definitely be in my, your top 5." What makes this a good greeting card?
Well, it might sound controversial, but I think that one of the things that makes this a really good greeting card is the bad color combination. That's the thing. You have the sort of how to design something or the general aspect of colors. So you have the 60, 30, 10% theory when you're dividing
Sure.
colors, you have the
Yeah.
harmonic colors, and I feel like this is so much against everything we're being taught or trying to do as designers these days, but it's such a vintage, the pixelated thing, that it
Yeah.
works
It's
because
also very
colors.
like
Yeah,
Minecraft,
yeah.
the combination of colors is like kind of needs to be wacky like this. Like if it was just two colors, like that blue and that tannish pink, then it would be good, but I don't know if it would really stand out the way that all of
I
these.
don't think I like the blue on the tennis, but I think it's just the fact that old games used to be like so out there with, hey, we have colors. It didn't
Yeah.
matter like if they match. And by the way, you might be into whatever game you said, but the apartment we just moved into for a little bit, they have a computer here, like a computer that you
Yeah,
can
yeah,
use,
yeah.
and they have the all of the old games,
Wow, that's
like
super cool.
literally the games something, and like to move something to another area. And this really reminded me of literally what I'm doing here, because I've been like such nostalgic these days with an old CD record and the physical computer thingy here.
Yeah.
um
Yeah. It does
I
have
think it's
those
just
vibes
yeah, it's just like, to be honest, I can also tell you that in Greece we can see houses like this with these colors.
with those colors. Okay, yeah.
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 So I hope no one's getting offended that I'm telling you that the bad colors, I think, makes it a really good product design,
Yeah.
because it matches the pixelated. I would pause my game for you. It's also very, very into today's scene. And I think it's also one of those top keywords on every platform pretty much for Valentine's Day. And not just for Valentine's Day, anniversary, just because. The only thing I would do a little bit is I would take the heart and
Mhm.
make it a tiny bit smaller,
Smaller, not close
because
to the text.
the gap between the heart and the text on both sides should be the gap between the text and the top.
Yeah, so a
And
little bit
those
more, yeah.
3 pixels, those 3 pixels can
Yeah.
really get on your nerve if you have OCD. So that's like the only thing I would change. I would not change anything in the color palette, but just make it a tiny bit smaller. And I feel like also it will give it a bit more of an aesthetic look that catches the eye faster if you're talking about consumerism psychology.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, and my favorite part is probably how they did the arrow. That's really nice. I
mm.
like how with the way they did that arrow with the boxes is just super clean and super nice. It's very creative. I think it's a very good composition, like you said. Maybe just lowering the size, just decreasing the size. I
Even
do
though
think.
it's incorrect, because if an arrow goes through a heart, it goes in and out the back, not out the front.
Yeah, but they're doing this kind of like pin thing, like you would pin to your shirt. It kind of goes in and then back through. But
Ah,
yeah,
okay.
but yeah, it's super nice. Job well done. Let's move to number 2. So number 2, we have a little bit different vibes. We
Mhm.
have more of the kind of deco inspiration, a little bit older inspiration. Another Valentine's,
Creationist
yeah,
vibe.
another Valentine's Day card. All of these are technically Valentine's Day
Yep.
card. We should have just done a Valentine's card challenge
Or
earlier.
next time we should say like design greeting cards that are not for
That
Valentine's
are
Day.
not for Valentine's Day. But what do you think about number 2? What do you like? Maybe what do you think could be improved in number 2?
Two things. One, if the person who designed it can please comment, what is a aimer? Is
I'm
it
here.
a certain French dialect for the word love? Because amour is love in French, and I think that aimer is a dialect.
Yeah, maybe.
Because I think it means love, or if it's a name. Because this has been driving me nuts all week. And the
Yeah, it
second
might
thing
be.
I
It
think,
could be a name.
and the second thing I told you before we started recording is that if the person who did this will head into designing tarot cards. I
Yeah.
think they have a bright future, and not just, not just designing tarot cards as selling tarot cards, because there are print on demand for tarot cards and for any kind of game and stuff like that. But there are a lot of tarot card designs that are being sold on t-shirts as wall art, like renditions of tarot cards. And I think that the build up here, maybe even the fact that, obviously it's love, so you have the
Yeah.
hearts.
Right.
But if you look at the bottom under the Aimere, there is a heart, and then there is a diamond. It really feels like a card, like a playing
Yeah.
card.
A playing card. Yeah. Something like that. Yeah.
It really has the vibe of like a vintage playing card. And I would also like a design of something like this, like on an old chest box thing.
Yeah.
This could be engraved, like
Yeah. Engraved.
insane.
Yeah.
You're supposed to be the one with the engraved comments.
The engraving comments. Yeah. Yeah. I think they did a great job, just symmetrically. It looks really nice. The way the birds are up there kind of on either side. And they used an L. So there's an L in there right
Where's
here. It's right here. So it's the script L right here. And they've duplicated
Nice.
it and then flipped it the other direction. I think that's pretty creative to use a letter it's in Milk Store, our font, to use that as an extra kind of filigree element. So I think that's super clever. And I do like the kind of hearts on the either side of the outline heart remind me of those like really chalky candies that are the hearts.
Yeah.
I don't even know I can't remember. I haven't seen it so long. I don't know what's on the box, like what they're actually called. Like they taste so bad, but like the sentiment is so good. Like I remember getting just a bunch of those over the years, like in school. That's what everybody's parents, I guess, would buy to take to class to do the little, you're gonna send Valentine's or whatever. And they just
we don't really do that. We don't have Valentine's Day. Well, we do have
Yeah.
Valentine's Day in Israel, but it's only, I think, in the last decade or so, because we have our own love holiday. Ours is in the 16th of the month of Av, which, if I'm not mistaken, is supposed to be around September. But consumerism culture. We adapted Valentine's Day as well. We even have our own Halloween before we adopted the other one. But yeah, I am really curious about the Aimere. It's gonna
so definitely
daunt on me.
If you're watching, either comment on the video or go comment on the card what that is, because we're curious to know.
Yeah.
But job well done. Third place, second place, both really well done. So moving to first place,
our comic book.
Yeah, Eric. Eric's a great designer. We actually had him on Coffee with Kittl a couple of weeks ago. We were talking about flash sheets, and he was sharing a lot of really great tips. You can check that video out. But we have his Valentine's Day kind of magazine inspired greeting card here. We have It's a Bed of Roses. I like the characters there have the little speech bubbles above there. Love stinks. It's a whole like kind of comic book vibe, like you already said. Then we have issue 665. So he thought of a lot. He probably looked at quite a bit of references to see what he wanted to do. It's very creative. It's very clever. What would you say about
mind you, though, this could infringe 50 ways to leave your lover.
Oh yeah, possibly. Yeah, text wise, you mean?
Yeah, that
like title wise. Yeah.
I think that I'm not sure if it's 50 ways, but like the ways to leave your lover, I think it's a movie and a book or something like this. I think that might be an issue in some places. Obviously, it's not going to flag anywhere because you're not writing it as the tags of something, but I would be careful of making too much noise with something like this. I love the blue. I do have to say there were so many colors that could have been on the frame.
Right.
But that blue is just like, if we said that the first card had really bad colors and it made it awesome, this card shows someone who, I don't know, studied color theory.
Yeah.
Because everything about this, even to the point where if you look at the stripes in the back, so from both sides they're very wide, but then on the top they're very thin.
Yep, like etching or hatching.
The work here is insane.
Yeah.
Am I the only one who just like makes a cute panda
Yeah,
and
and then
write
puts it
like,
on there and
yeah, love you.
yeah.
You know, am I the only one that does that? I'm starting to feel like every time we're doing this, one of these things, I feel like I'm not gonna say like, I'm seeing all these amazing creations and I think I'm a bad designer, but like I feel every time I'm watching this, the other challenges as well, especially now that you showed me with the, I would pause my game for you with the squares. I'm like, oh my god, I'm such a lazy designer. I am
Hey,
so lazy.
it's about what works for you. I think Eric specifically here likes to just really intensify the detail and use a lot of assets and things like that. So yeah, you're going to be kind of influenced by your style, and this will definitely attract a specific audience, right? Like,
I would love this as a notebook cover. I would love this as a poster.
that would
I
be
can
super
totally
cool
see
as a
this like
poster. Yeah.
a poster in like some vintage cafe.
Yeah, that's super good. I think that
Yeah.
that's exactly what it would be. I have to confess, when I saw it, I definitely thought it was awesome because Eric does great work, but at the same time, uh, I wouldn't probably choose it as a greeting card because I'm not sure it doesn't say greeting anywhere, or I don't
Yeah.
know. Maybe it would still work. Like someone would obviously get it as like kind of a funny
This
Valentine's
is a
Day
card.
gift.
This is a card that forces you to actually write something inside from you.
Yeah, yeah, that's good. That's a good point. Yeah. Like, yeah,
So
because
not a lot
I
of
do
men
like
would get it.
I like the $1 and then inside right there, like right here, like just inside angled like that is
Mhm.
yeah.
Page 2, page 3.
Page, yeah, it's good. That's super solid. Definitely is catered to specific audiences that want that, but it's really well done. Super great job, Eric. Great job to the top three. Congratulations.
If
You,
Eric would like to comment, what is he gonna do with $100 Amazon gift card? I would
yes,
appreciate that. You don't have to tell me, but I would love to know. It's my money.
yeah,
I would love to know.
yeah,
I really
super.
want to know like what kind of what also like what people want as prizes, maybe like
Anybody that is interested in suggesting prizes, we're always definitely here to hear it. So that's a great idea. But let's get into some honorable mentions here.
yeah.
We pre-selected a couple that we are going to talk about, and we are going to go with this one as our first one to talk about. May, why do you like this one? And what makes it for you? I mean, obviously it's a thank you greeting card, but why did this one stand out to you? I have an idea that it probably has to do with color, but I'll let you talk about it.
Okay, first of all, color scheme in our world, blue is social.
Mm-hmm.
And
Calming.
not saying that this is not a good card design, but this is an amazing design for social media. Thank you
Sure.
to my 2,000 subscribers on followers on Instagram.
Sure.
Thank you. We reached 10,000 subscribers
Yeah.
on YouTube. This is and the thing is that you can design the best design in the world and spend hours on it. And if someone saw it and had it in his hand or was on it, they might get it. But when we are swimming in a sea of greeting cards in every single platform, there are just the things that stop you and things that don't. And I remember we had so many meetings about this when we were talking UI UX and consumer psychology in some companies that I used to work for. And
Yeah.
a lot of times the conclusion was to stop analyzing it. If something made you stop, like we would put in everything we want to do for the company, all the different styles, all the different banners, we would just flood them in this huge like vision board, and whatever grabs your attention, and just don't even try to think about why. The why only comes if I want to try and replicate the success or if I want to take the lessons to something else. I think that this obviously is also like, it's amazing looking on the surface, like on a 1:1 ratio. I don't think that this would grab my attention if this was on any other ratio. Even if it was something that is a little bit more horizontal due to the text, the background wouldn't fit as much. Because
Okay.
the back of it is very circular. I have no idea why I liked this in terms of I'm the worst in this. I'm sorry. I have no idea why I like this. I can tell you that every single time that I went through the challenge to see what people did, I stopped on that one. Every
wow.
single time.
Yeah.
I don't know why. You can say it's the color combination. which is, by the way, they're using contrast colors or
Yeah, it's
harmonic
good.
colors because you're using blue and a
Yeah,
variety of sort of like reddish, more on the peach side of things.
yeah.
But this stopped me. And that's what we need in today's world. You can make the most amazing greeting card and you are on a platform and no one sees it, and someone else gets stopped and gets a purchase. This will stop me. And I would also recommend, to be honest, put it as a circle and put it as a sticker. This is
Oh,
an
yeah.
awesome thank you sticker.
That would be super
Maybe
cool.
that's why it stopped me, because it's a really good sticker
Yeah,
as a circle.
yeah, excellently done.
That one, the thank
Let's
you.
go with
Yeah.
this one, Kim. Great job. Kim is one of our ambassadors. She always does great work. This one definitely did. So you said the last one, the thank you, stopped you.
Mhm.
For this one kind of stopped me when I was scrolling, just because of the way that flower just goes on and off the sides of the artboard. Why'd you pick this one as one to talk about? Why do you like this one?
Because it's almost perfect.
Oh, wow.
Um, take the thank you, make it a tiny bit smaller. And if it was a slightly different font, because you have similar fonts to this, where the K, the top of it is a bit wider, you can connect the K to the flower.
Oh, that could be cool. Yeah.
I love doing these things. I used to do them all the
Connecting.
time, even just with journaling. I do this a lot when I do my own like journaling and calligraphy work. And this is just, first of all, again, I would totally make the thank you even smaller. Even if I'm not connecting it to the flower, I would make the thank you smaller. It just bothers me in terms of the gaps between what we perceive to be the edge of the sunflower and what we perceive to be the bottom of the T touching up on the low. So I would crop it, like nudge it a bit up.
Yeah.
But this one is just I don't know. Did you get the point where you're trying to look at it in the middle and you kind of space out? Like look at it in the middle.
Yeah,
Like in the flower.
now that you've said that, I see that kind of like warping, funnel effect.
It's an
Yeah.
eye stopper. It's an eye stopper.
It's really good, and I think this is a really great example of, certain types of cards that don't really need a lot. And I don't mean need a lot of necessarily detail, because this vintage illustration of this flower has a lot of detail. However, it is one component of this card along with one component of text. Like sometimes it really doesn't need to be a catchy phrase. Sometimes it is just simply thank you, and then the
like
inside is what you write.
when one of the things I think that you're kind of saying now and relates to me to the previous challenge with the notebooks. Do you know what's my best-selling notebooks on Zazzle? It's some kind of background, a very simple one, either like one of the leaf patterns or one of those liquid arts, and then a name in white at the bottom. People just buy those. I have so many notebooks that I've spent so much time working on.
Right.
Maybe that's why I'm lazy.
But the simple one goes the way that you need it to go. Yeah, it does. It does what you need it to do. I think that's such a
gets
good
the job done
principle for very specific types of product and product design. This is a very good example. This does what it needs to do, but very elegantly, very nicely, compositionally. Like this does what it needs to do. So it's a very, very good. It's a very good card. Here was one that you were saying kind of caught your attention as well. This one's like simple, detailed in a different kind of way than the one we just looked at. But why do you like this one?
Consumerism psychology. Your eyes stop when someone is looking at you.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
That's why they're talking about in so many of the print on demand, like what's missing sometimes with a lot of people's mock-ups is someone to look at the person who's looking at Instagram. Like when someone looks at you, if you take a bunch of photos of different people or different scenarios and one of them is looking at you, you'll stop. I mean, why did the Mona Lisa become so famous?
Oh, I see. Yeah. Okay.
So that's another, the thing is that, again, you can design a bad card, and if it looks at me, I'm not going to get it. But if you have one of these moments where someone stops, then they can assess the card itself. So first of all, it has the stopper. It has the stopper completely. The sorry, I would have changed it a little bit. I would have moved the bottom S a little bit higher and to the left, or even just kept it as a normal S, because this one is a capital one.
Oh, I
So
see. Yeah,
if I kept it as a smaller one, I feel like it would bump less on the side. I would have played around with that speech banner bubble thing, but this
sure.
card is an eye stopper, even though colors not quite correct all the way, but it's definitely a stopper.
Yeah, I think it's another
I would
thing
also
that
I would bank on this. I would go like, forgive me, even like, are you hungry? I don't know. I would make like I would make this cat
several
ask so many questions. Yeah,
yeah,
like
several iterations of this is a great template for that.
and I would also I would obviously keep that same line that we have here in terms of the colors, that the background is kind of a dark pastel version of the eye in like
Oh,
the
yeah.
it's
Yeah.
on the same color like it's on the same chart.
Detailed wise, it does exactly what it needs to do. Up in the caption here, it says I was going for simplicity with this design. You definitely did it, and it
Simple's
is
good.
it is. I'm sorry. I don't actually see a ton of kind of like apology cards, even though
Go
I
to
know
Zazzle.
yeah, I know they exist. But even in the store, like walking down the aisle, I don't see a ton. But this is super cool. So this was something a little bit different, a little bit more like of a reminder, like, oh, there's these kind of like apologetic and or kind of in the sympathy card region as well, a little bit different. So this is
Maybe you'll see them more in a flower shop.
yeah, yeah, maybe, but this is super good. Uh, we have kind of a wide range, but it what we're seeing in some of the ones that we're choosing, like they're really not crazy detailed.
They're
Like
not crazy
they're
detailed, and they're not specific to some holiday.
they're just cards.
Eye-catching design. They're just there. They grab your attention, and you look at it and go like, "Oh, I remember. I like that." Just
Yeah,
because. See, I think none of my cards today are Valentine's. I think I
yeah,
was like not
that's
thinking
true.
about Valentine's because it's gone.
So why is this another one? You actually had already commented on this,
I like the
but
grainy.
the grain, yeah. So what about this, is stopping? It has that stop factor.
Okay,
And why would you choose this?
color-wise, it's really hard to make a color that will stop you and pop out completely on a dark background without using white on the text. They managed to do that with that beige. That somehow when I do that, it just doesn't pop out as much. I
Hmm,
feel like this is a very holding yourself back design. I'm not gonna go crazy with the flowers, I'm just gonna put some flower here, some flowers there.
a leaf
Just
here,
put
yeah.
it like that. Yeah, it's the grainy texture. I don't know why.
It
And
just completes it. Yeah, I feel like
yeah,
it makes it have that baked feel.
yeah,
Um,
I would probably do it if I would have done cards. But you know what? For me, like if I were to design something like this, I would release the texture and I would basically not release, but I would clip it to content. I would try to see how this
oh,
card
okay.
looks without the background being grainy, but the flowers looking
Yeah.
grainy. And also, you know, I feel like it goes back to the question of what you thought that I'm going to see people do. I did not
Oh, okay.
expect so many Valentine's Day cards. I thought again more Easter, but in general, as someone who's less of a trend hopper, or I sometimes don't even design like for the big holidays.
Yeah.
I want to design something that people would buy
All
whenever.
the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I so
Anytime.
I feel like this one, the colors, the grainy, the flowers, the message, the font even. This one is timeless because this font would have been attractive 50 years ago and today. This card is truly timeless. You can give it to your grandma and you can give it to a coworker.
Very small detail that I like is the use of the thin flourishing in the back that
I'm
somehow
like, I was scooching to see.
yeah, they're all these kind of
Yeah.
they're kind of like the opacity's either been
Mhm,
dropped or they used a super light version of this, but
mhm.
it plays with the same kind of feel as these etched kind of florals here with the etch lines coming out, and it just kind
Yeah.
of feels like it's nice baked into it's very subtle. It's nice. That's all it is. It's nice. It's just
It's less of a feel
there.
of I took clip art and it's less clip arty and more arty.
Yeah, more arty. Yeah, it's artistically placed, and it's just just because, it's just nice. That's all I can say about this one. It's nice. It's another card that's like, it does what it needs to do, like it's the common theme of this challenge. Is like, does the card do what it needs to do? I should have put that in the requirements, like, PS, make sure your card does what it needs to do. No, I think they all do what they need to do, of course. I think this one, like you said a lot of good things earlier when we were talking about selecting this one to talk about. And I think just there's a lot to unpack here, because it is actually different. I would say this is more detailed than the last couple that we've talked about, right? So, but it still does what it needs to do. So checkbox one. But why do you like this? Like, why does this stand out?
So I already told you when we were not recording, and I also commented that I see these cats all the time, and every time I see them, I think to myself, this is boring. And it doesn't, like, whenever I want to design something with a cat, I go to cat on Kittl. I either choose something else or I import something that I made on Procreate.
Yeah.
And just the fact that they used something that I repetitively thought was boring,
right,
and they made it so cool. And also the fact that you're using this out of Kittl, so you're not really creating the cats yourself. So the assembly work of making them fit together is amazing.
That's
the thing
super
is,
nice. Yeah, it is nice.
I wouldn't necessarily choose this as a card. If I'm the designer, I'm gonna take that little fat one.
Oh, the bottom
that
one.
That says it's your birthday, and that will be a card.
I'm
I'm gonna take the one that says here we go, and that's gonna be a card. I'm gonna take the let's dance. You have 4 greeting cards here.
Yeah,
that's what I would do it. And honestly, you can also take the it's your birthday, let's dance, woohoo, and make it as a trio for posters. Or like, even need to make it like a postcard deck or set. These are you have 4 greeting cards here.
Yeah,
with or without the disco balls, which by the way are an amazing add-on.
I like those. Yes, I like the.
But I feel like if I'm looking at this as a whole, I feel like I am missing something in the bottom. We got the cats, that's nice. We got the disco balls, which obviously they're not going to be below because, design disco balls up top. But I feel like maybe the let's dance should have been yellowish.
Okay.
To fix it a little bit, or even the woohoo, even though the woohoo is not in a good placement to be yellowish. But I feel like there is something missing for me. But if I had split it into different cards, you have it's your birthday, it's purple with the yellow disco ball, cool. Here we go, blue with yellow, cool. Like individually, I think they're perfect, but together, it's just that this one stopped me again, also because of the cats, but also because it was like, something's not right here. Something's bothering me with the color combination, because it's really hard, first of all, to make so many colors and make them completely harmonic.
Sure.
These are so many colors, especially the background. But I feel like I'm bumming everybody out. It's like, why did I like your card? Because it's bad. So no, that's not what I'm saying. I feel like there's something missing for me for the alignment. But this is, if I had to, like, for example, how not Rorschach texts per se, but a lot of times when you look at something that someone does and you have to guess his personality.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I see what you mean.
I would think that this is someone who's starting out thinking about print on demand. I don't know. Obviously, I could be completely wrong. But I see this a lot of time with people who are starting. It's like they're trying to do everything. And I'm not saying that this everything is not good. Obviously, this card is a stunner. It's just missing something to wrap up the bottom part. And for me, anyway, it's just my opinion. But I feel like this is the beginning where you're like, I need to design, I need to add this, which is amazing because you're opening up your creativity, and those dogs are driving me nuts.
Yeah, they are going at it.
I feel like this is someone who started out and just tried to do everything, which is beautiful, but make it separate. These could sell as separate. Make all of them.
Make them all,
Make this, Like, make more, make this a series. This
Yeah.
is a full series of cards in one design, and I can talk about it for hours. I'm sorry.
No, no
Um,
worries.
I
I
just
I
feel
think
like
I
there is so
agree.
much potential. Like, I look at this and I'm like, oh, this designer needs to like believe that they're doing a good job. Focus, remove, upload, 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 upload. This is good job. This is good work. I can see these cats doing so much more than it's your birthday. You can have like how many cards we have? Thank you. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Whoopsie.
Yeah, there's a bunch.
Forgive me. Happy Mother's Day. um, all of them. This
Yeah.
is just a pool of ideas from, again, something that I thought was boring. I'm sorry, the cats. I just didn't. A black cat, you know.
Yeah,
But
I have a black cat and he's amazing. But
I
yes,
love black cats, but everybody illustrates black cats all the time.
right. Yeah, I think for me in this card, and kind of tying into a little bit of what you're saying about having multiple is when I look at it, because I at least here we read, top left to right.
Yeah.
So the first thing I see is here we go, and then I don't actually understand it's your birthday until I go lower on my eyes go lower. So I don't actually know what's most important until I get to it's your birthday. So, but that doesn't make it a bad card. It just means hierarchically, like you're saying, you could remove stuff and just have the one by itself with a little disco ball coming out up top, and then it's like there is no way that you can't know what it is, like, because if you saw this in the store on the shelf, I believe it would stop you because of what we've already said. The composition of these cats is really good. However, what you're going to then do is be like, oh, what kind of card is this? Unless, of
Yeah.
course, it's in the birthday section. But you would look at it and you'd be like, oh, it's your birthday. Is it like poignant enough? Like, does it make sense? Will the user actually open it out of the envelope and immediately get it? So I think,
Well, if it's their birthday, they're gonna get it. I
sure,
mean, they're getting a. I would
yeah,
also
that's
do
a
like,
good point.
it's
That's a
your
good point.
graduation. Like, if you
Yeah,
look at
that could
Here We
also,
Go, woohoo! It's your graduation. It's
it's
your
all of them.
wedding. Your
The
bachelorette
stamps, yeah,
party.
all of them. You can do all the ideas here. So I think that that's really good advice, to just kind of take away and use either of these cats with the speech bubble as the focal point for whatever it is: celebration, birthday, graduation, whatever. That's such a good idea to have like a whole motif package of these cards. So it is time to award our special winner, and May has chosen this I'm Sorry cat as the special winner. So out of all of the other ones that we looked at that you chose, why is this our special winner today? What made this just a tier above to give it that special winner?
It's so adorable. I mean, like, I feel like I want to dedicate this card to all the people we didn't select.
That all the people who didn't
It's
win.
like, I feel like it's feeling what I'm feeling right now. I don't know how to say
Okay.
this.
Okay.
The light where he's sitting, the light
The
that's
rays,
coming
yeah.
out. Even
The
though I
rays
would
in the back.
probably cancel it a bit in the back, like I would try to put something on it in the back, like so it's not going to come from here. I really don't know, because they're all good. There were so many other good ones that we didn't even mention. Obviously, we have the winners and everything, but I feel like this is just. I love this today. Maybe sometimes you just pick something because it's kind of your.
Right now, yeah.
It's the same with what you choose to buy at the end of the day. What's your style? If you're going to buy bed sheets in a certain color or a different color because something happened to you today. But I feel like this little, like, it kind of reminds me of, I have a mutant turtle ninja plushie,
Oh,
Donatello, and it was lately injured. So I don't know. It's just, I mean, come on, look at those eyes.
yeah. Yeah.
I literally have no other thing. I think, like, and if I have to put this to the test of all of the cards, if I would, and this happens to me, by the way, sometimes. We have a stationery shop that I go to a lot, art supply store. It's also the only store in Bansko that has books in English, and a lot of jigsaw puzzles. But it happens to be a lot that I'm buying something, acrylics, jigsaw puzzles, watercolors, books. And I pass by the card stand, and there is this one card that I just get, There is no one that I know has a birthday soon. It's not Easter. there's a card I just get, and I'm like, I'm gonna use it, and even if I'm not gonna use it, I'm gonna put it in my journal. And I feel like out of the 5 cards, if you put those 5 on the card stack in that store, I would have just picked that one, and probably Misha would look at me and go like, "Why are you buying this?" And I'll be like, "I don't know. Leave me alone. It's my money."
Yeah, true,
Um,
true.
so is that a good enough reason to choose?
It's perfect enough reason for me. You all heard it here first. This
I
is
would have just
the
bought it. That's why I
special,
chose it.
yeah, special winner. So you will be getting a $25 Amazon gift card. Congratulations. But everyone, super great job, excellent entries. As we continue to do these challenges, we've really noticed that the entries are getting better and better. People that were maybe doing like throwing a whole bunch of stuff on the boards are getting more simple, which is always sometimes all that you need. So well done to everyone. Please always go check the other challenges. So we have more challenges coming up. Go to the challenges page. If you didn't get in on this one, or if you didn't win on this one, then join those other challenges. Mey, as we land the plane here, is there anything going on that you want people to know? Anything coming up for YouTube or things like that before
Okay.
we sign off?
Okay, before we sign off, first of all, to all of you who design greeting cards, don't forget to upload them. Even if you won Amazon gift cards or if you didn't upload, you'll never know what sells a year after.
True.
Or something like
Yes.
that. Second
Very
of
true.
all, the best news that I've had on my channel lately, Zazzle finally finalized their beta version of printables. So I think they're one of the biggest, they're considered one of the biggest print-on-demand companies. Like, they have a lot of websites. They also operate, in the EU, in Australia, in the
Nice.
UK, with different domains.
Nice.
And they just finalized their move to full digital download. So if you're selling posters or greeting cards on Zazzle, if you start designing, you design the card on the platform itself, and the minute you switch to putting your commission for print on demand, you will see a commission for digital download. Even though they officially finished the beta version, and for most viewers it only works with Zazzle.com, a lot of times that won't appear. And if you're the people who's been bothered by this, thinking it's just not activated for me, create the card as print on demand, go to your shop, to the product, go to options, and you will see enable it as a printable, which can be a great thing. And this is something that was really controversial. A lot of people who design wedding invitations really didn't like this idea. But I know a few viewers who sell greeting cards in like a set, like 1 or 2, not like wedding invites, which you buy 500. And now, as they sold a digital one, they actually got like $2 instead of 30 cents.
Yeah.
So that was a bit of a bigger thing. We also have a challenge going on my channel with my community, which is a challenge to spend 20 minutes a day for the next 150 days doing the same task.
Wow.
So for me, it's to upload a set of certain products to Zazzle every day. It's my way of fighting shiny new thing syndrome, and not forget to just because like you want to design for this, you want to design for this, fine. I have a Zazzle store for bathroom decor, so I'm going to do my 20 minutes. I'm going to work on that first, and then I can shiny new thing syndrome everything. But at least I did that. And I have noticed that for the last few days when I was doing it, and we've been talking about this in the community a lot, I've just been working more, and I've actually I did like insane Pinterest pins with Kittl.
Oh, nice.
I was such a Canva girl, like copy paste. And I'm like, no, I'm going to design this. Playing around with the background remover AI. I found some really nice photos from Unsplash and removed their background. So I have like bathtubs coming from places.
Nice.
There will be a Pinterest tutorial with Kittl tutorial on how to design Pinterest pins. I owe you the coloring page one. I feel like I just want to do so many things, especially covering up the AI, which I've already played with. Can I show them what I showed you?
Yes.
What I personally do with AI is that I don't use the AI that I get as is, but I use it as a way. It's glaring. We have the glare. So I just AI'd my way around a various amount of kawaii animals with balloons.
Nice.
And I'm doing them in my own style. I'm also doing them as coloring elements. So I feel like there isn't a day that I don't open Kittl.
Oh, wow.
Even if I'm not filming, and I'm not like when we started the first time I spoke to Bojana, I was like, okay, this could be cool. I'm going to design some TeePublic stuff. I haven't even touched my TeePublic store. I'm just designing so much stuff. I did a Society 6. I filmed the screen already because the internet in Greece is not gonna hold me with a tutorial for that. So I just need to do the override, like my part of speaking about it. But I
Yeah.
also did a Society 6 tutorial using Kittl. I don't know how this came to be.
Hey,
I'm
that's
not
great.
saying it's not because you guys are not cool, or because just
Hey,
because you are, but I feel like Kittl for me was like the package I was looking for. It's like
that's
so
great.
many cool things that you can do in one place. The vibe is like, let's do this, let's get going. Even
Get
with the
going. Yeah.
challenges, like I look at all the challenges, even though like not just mine,
Yeah.
just to look at what people are doing, and it just feels like it becoming this, like, I don't want to say hipster community, kind of a vintage community, but there isn't a day that I don't open Kittl, and I'm paying for a lot of other services as well.
Right.
But I kind of just forgot about them. I don't know. There's just like no day that I don't open Kittl.
Yeah.
So
That's
thank you for
amazing to hear.
making this.
Yeah.
This is like an
That's
awesome tool. Canva started getting boring. Place it is really slow. I mean, come on, Place it is really
it is
slow.
quite slow. I do use Place It,
Um,
but it is pretty slow.
I haven't opened Place it in a while. Mostly
Yeah.
because Zazzle products are very different. We have the towel set and all the journals, and they have like you've been on Zazzle, you know that they have
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
insane.
For
I
sure.
mean, you're not gonna find a mock-up for a stamp.
Right. Yeah. That's true.
um, but I really hope that the people who designed this will actually upload the things that they designed,
Yeah.
and to
That's great.
remember that you can
Great idea.
upscale your own design, change the colors, change the theme. Someone might not be attracted to those cats when they're black. Maybe they're like a ginger cat. Maybe they're buying it to someone who has a ginger cat.
Yeah.
And if we didn't like any of your designs, or if we didn't choose them, or if we said the color, who cares? Just do you, man. Don't
Yeah.
listen to me. What do I know?
Well, thank you again, May, for taking the time to hang out and go through these. A lot of people really enjoy this. We have really great feedback. They're always looking forward to the challenge recaps, always asking when we're going to do more, things like that. So this is super important to us, obviously to you as well. And we are so happy for everyone that's watching, and then they use these things for the next one. So don't forget to subscribe to the Kittl channel. Don't forget to subscribe to May's channel. You can find all of that information down in the description. It takes like 1 second. Just hit the red button. That way you don't miss anything. We don't want you to miss anything. If you've
We
been
have like lives and news and
yeah,
stuff,
if you've been a long time viewer, hit the red button. It'll take you 3 seconds. We appreciate it. I appreciate you. We've been on this long enough. We're gonna sign off now. Everybody have a great day, and we will see you in the next one. Bye.
Bye.